Another Commons outsider is George Galloway, a former Labour MP who is now MP for the Respect Party, representing Bradford West. Last weekend, Mr Galloway was beaten up in broad daylight on a London street. Remarkably, only one of Mr Galloway's 650 or so fellow MPs has sent him a public message of sympathy. Mr Galloway is a highly controversial figure, but isn't it the case that the assault on the Respect MP is also an assault on free speech and democracy? I invited Mr Galloway into the studio. He still bore the marks of the brutal attack on his face, and he told me he felt severe pain in his ribs. I asked him what actually happened.
I was standing in West London, in Notting Hill, not the sort of place you'd expect such a thing to happen, when totally blindsided, while I was taking a picture with a member of the public, a blow struck me on the side of the head, followed by dozens of other blows.
You are looking pretty ropey still.
Yeah, I'm shaky, my ribs are pretty sore, my head's pretty swollen, but it could have been far worse. If the man had had a weapon, I wouldn't be here talking to you today, because there was hardly anyone around. Those who were around were not fit enough to pull the man off, except after I was on the ground and he was on top of me.
What interested me was that not a single one of your colleagues, the 650 MPs in the House of Commons, from the Mr Speaker down, has actually sent you a public message of sympathy or condemned it even.
Only one person, Caroline Lucas, no other Member of Parliament, has opined publicly. I wouldn't have wanted their sympathy. For most of them it would have been insincere. But a condemnation of a vicious attack on a Member of Parliament because explicitly of the stand that they take on contemporary issues is something that you would have thought every MP had to fear.
You're a very controversial figure. You say things which appall right-thinking people. So I was looking at some of the stuff on the social media. You know, a lot of them seem to think you deserved it almost. This is a strange position.
It is in Britain, and would be a very major step backwards for us, because what appalls one man thrills and persuades another. So every one of us has, if we're worth our salt, has controversial views. What's the point in being a Member of Parliament if you don't have controversial views? And if we're to be attacked for expressing them...
Physically attacked for it.
Physically attacked. I mean, this man...
Beaten to the ground, yeah.
Yes. I mean, I sustained quite serious injuries. But it's a strange set of circumstances where neither the Prime Minister, nor the Speaker of the House of Commons, nor the Leader of the Opposition, nor any frontline politician, or any politician at all apart from Caroline Lucas, has publicly condemned this attack. Many have written to me, the more gentlemanly ones, people that you would expect. Andrew Mitchell, Jacob Rees-Mogg wrote a very beautiful letter to me. People who value free speech, who value parliamentary democracy. I have been, after all, a member of the House of Commons for 27 years.
Jim Murphy had to withdraw from campaigning for a while because of threats made against him in Scotland. I mean, do you notice a trend towards the physical intimidation of politicians in this country?
Yes, and that's something that the whole political class should sit up and take notice of. I have a right to speak. The Speaker should have said so. He ought to have been sending his officials to talk to me about how they're going to protect me and my rights. After all, I represent 90,000 people in my constituency and many more broadly. And if our position is to be physically attacked, what does that say?
And do you it's been reported you want a bodyguard?
Yes, I want police protection. I have a right to it. Otherwise, being a Member of Parliament is meaningless. You've then only got to mouth platitudes that offend no one and therefore don't place you in physical risk.
That was George Galloway, victim of a violent assault.